the day of one of the biggest martial arts tournaments in the world. Young contestants will gather across the nation and represent their schools for the right to be crowned as champion of the juniors division. There may be some excitement in the air, but there is also exasperation, as one person is looking for his student to have more than a win.
In a one-story house on the west side of town in Jefferson Heights, a neighborhood often called one of the worst neighborhoods in the city, a man is preparing a meal for his mother and says,
"Mom, would you like eggs or grits today?"
The woman then has a hefty cough into a napkin and says, "Son, it will have to be eggs today. My body can't stomach grits today." And Ron fights back tears as he nods his head. And she responds, "Ron, don't worry about me so much, son. I want you to go out and earn the respect you deserve back. You've helped turn the dojo around in the past few months." Ron exclaims,
"My student will bring home the chip if it's the last thing he does."
And following that, his mother replies, "Ron, I hope you let go of what happened 2 years ago. I hope you don't bring that energy into the tournament." With condescendence, Ron rebuttals,
"Mom, you know how I feel about it. I can't stand the way he treated me. He turned his back on me when I needed him the most. I know I wasn't in the right, but I had to do what I had to do."
And his mother retorts, "Son, I didn't want you to throw your life away for me." Ron then pounds the table and shouts,
"Like I've said before, Mom, your health is more important than my life, and that's final."
Feeling sorry for him, his mother says, "But Ron," and he interjects,
"I don't want to talk about it anymore, Mom."
Hours pass and Maxwell, Lyon, Colby, and Becky enter one of the biggest stadiums in the country. The Aurora and the Edenites gaze and take in its beauty while seeing the decorations set up for the tournament with Asian statues with various pictures of martial arts grandmasters on the wall. Maxwell says,
"You guys, these are your tickets. Make sure you sit in the right spot, please. The numbers on the tickets are on the cushions."
Colby then retorts,
"We're not kids. We can read."
Lyon then scratches his head and Colby rebuttals,
"Well, some of us."
Maxwell then confidently nods his head, and afterward Alexa commands,
"Come on,"
as she and the others walk off. Lyon then exclaims,
"I'm coming,"
as he trails behind the others. Maxwell then looks over, spots Jackson, and then walks over, but one of the stadium's security guards questions, "Where do you think you're going?" Maxwell then smirks at him and rebuttals,
"Sir, I don't know if you know me, but my name is Maxwell Jacobs, one of the most affluent entrepreneurs in this city, and that's my son back there, and I need to talk to him, so if you can let me by, that would be great."
Annoyed, the guard asks, "Where's your VIP pass?" Maxwell then answers,
"Man, they were sold out and I couldn't get one. What do you want, a birth certificate to prove to you that that's my son right there, man? Come on, let me through."
The guard then exclaims, "You're not getting through without one." Jackson then looks over and says,
"Butch, that's my dad. Chill."
Butch then says, "So you were telling the truth?" Maxwell says,
"Of course I was telling you the truth, man. Of course I was."
Maxwell says,
"Well, son, I see security is on their A game today."
Jackson says,
"Yeah, I've heard crazy stories about the parents getting mad at the senseis and other students just because their kids lost."
Maxwell retorts,
"I can see what you mean, son. So how's David doing?"
and Jackson answers,
"He's doing good. He's over there."
Maxwell looks over and sees David practicing different kicks. Maxwell says,
"Well, I can see David sure has come far in his training."
Jackson, assured, retorts,
"Yeah, the kid truly has proven the others wrong at the dojo."
Maxwell with joy says,
"And all because of you. I'm proud of you, son."
and Jackson replies,
"My student advanced at his own pace, Dad. I just helped guide them."
Maxwell nods his head and proclaims,
"You're right, son. Tell David I said good luck with the tournament."
Afterward, Jackson nods his head and retorts.
"I will, Dad."
While the contest is starting, Lyon and others are sitting in the crowd awaiting. Lyon with excitement shouts,
"Let's go, David! Woo!"
Colby then replies,
"Stop screaming in my ear and sit down, Lion."
Lyon says,
"You're not hype enough. You should be cheering David on as loud as I am right now."
Meanwhile, Colby, annoyed by his antics, rebuttals,
"The way I see it, you've got two choices: sit down or be thrown in your seat."
Lyon rebuttals.
"I think I'll choose neither."
The two then stare each other down, and as they are about to come to blows, Alexis says,
"How about both of you sit down? If you screw this up for Jackson, I'll shove both of your heads so far up your asses that you'll be shitting chunks.
Lion then says,
I think I'll sit down and calm down.
and Colby retorts.
Finally.
Maxwell then walks up to the bleachers and sits next to them. Maxwell says,
I tried to make it back over here in time. I hope I didn't miss anything.
Becky responds,
No, it's just about to start.
Minutes pass and the announcer exclaims, young warriors from all over the world, welcome to one of the greatest tournaments in the world tonight. You will see how far these combatants have come as they put their skills to the test. In our first match you'll be watching David Hernandez versus Dash Daniels. Jackson says,
David, go out there and show the world what you're made of.
David bows and replies,
I will.
David looks forward as he sees the other opponent stand over him in height and stature. David steps up to the stage. The announcer says bow. The two then bow and charge toward each other. Dash throws a high kick toward David, immediately ducks, and does a leg sweep on him. Dash falls but kips back up and the two begin throwing different strikes at each other. As David tries to keep up with Dash. Dash says, get ready to go home, this will be your first and last match of the day, and David rebuttals with confidence,
I don't think I'll be the one going anywhere.
As he catches Dash's arm. After that, David says,
You're the one who's going home.
As he twists Dash's arm and flips him. The referee asks, do you want to continue? And Dash replies no. Furthermore, the referee says winner by forfeit David Hernandez. As David walks to the back, Jackson exclaims,
Congrats, bro.
While Sensei Wong interjects, David, you only won the battle, be prepared for the war. David bows and replies,
Yes, Sensei.
Moments later, loud steps then emit from the hallway and Ron says,
Long time no see, Jacobs. Han?
Shocked, Jackson replies,
Ron, where did you come from? I thought you were ousted from most dojos.
Ron then laughs and responds,
Well, after I was kicked out of the academy, I struggled to find my place until Wong gave me another chance.
Jackson then says,
That answers only part of my question. Why are you here again? You're not even a junior.
And Ron follows his prior statement with,
Figured you'd say that. I'd like to introduce you to my student, Roger.
And a short, stocky, tan-skinned child walks in. As the child steps forward, Ron announces,
He's proficient in karate and is working on his first-degree black belt in kung fu.
Jackson then exclaims,
Oh, yeah? Well, David won a whole tournament, and he beat some of the best students of our academy to represent us.
And Ron rebuttals.
So if Roger wins, that means the whole academy is full of chumps.
Jackson replies,
I doubt it. David has faced far tougher.
And Ron retorts,
Oh, we'll see.
Han, surveying the situation, says, Jackson, calm down, and Jackson rebuttals,
I can't. Something has always rubbed me the wrong way about that guy.
Sensei Han says, Jackson, remember, this isn't about you and Ron's rivalry, this is about David. Now, David, go and prepare for the next match. David bows again and responds,
Yes, Sensei Han.
Back on the Chaos Squadron ship, Sela announces,
Master, I have the serum ready to administer.
Intrigued, Groper says,
How does it work?
And Sela replies,
When the serum is injected, it will put them under our control and unleash all the anger built inside the subject, and they will lose themselves in their rage.
Scion then says,
Who do you think could survive the injection?
Reassuringly, Sela responds,
I think I've found the perfect subject for the experiment.
And Razor questions,
And if it fails, then what?
Sela then scoffs at him and rebuttals,
We'll find another.
Groper then asks,
So what's the plan, my lord?
Scion afterward confidently replies,
I will try to recruit them first, and if they refuse, we will force them to be a part of the squadron.
Groper mutters,
Interesting.
While Razor replies,
If it goes wrong, I will put him down, Master.
And Scion retorts,
There won't be a need for that.
Back at the tournament in one of the locker rooms, an older short Chinese-American man with short gray hair walks up and says, Ron, I hope Roger wins today. Ron replies,
Trust me, he will.
Ron then looks over at his student and commands,
Roger, if Jacob's student makes it to the finals, I want you to do more than beat him. I want you to embarrass him. I want you to make his day the worst day of his life.
Roger then says, "Yes, Sensei, I'll make sure of it," and Ron rebuttals,
"You better."
Ron then announces,
"I'm gonna go walk outside and get some fresh air, but I'll be back the second round."
Back on the stage, Lion says,
There's David's mom. Hey, Mrs. Hernandez, how are you doing?
Mrs. Hernandez then says, "I'm doing good. Did you guys see David in the last match?" Lion then replies loudly,
Yeah, he's already looking like he's going to win this thing.
And Colby interjects,
"Stop shouting, Lion. You're starting to piss off the other parents here. They don't want to hear you bragging about other people's kids."
Lion then says,
You're such a buzzkill. I can't ever have a good time with you around.
And Colby responds,
"Look around."
Lion then looks around and sees groups of people looking at him with anger on their faces. Lion then says,
Everybody be cool. I'm sure your kids have just as good as a chance.
Alexa, after his embarrassing display, shakes her head as Lion sits down. Back outside as Ron is doing push-ups, he sees a light beam from the sky. Ron asks,
"What the hell is that?"
as Scion along with Sela appears. Sela then turns to him with determination and answers,
"It is your destiny."
And Scion interjects,
"Yes, you are being recruited for a cause that is bigger than you."
Ron then says,
"What are you talking about?"
Scion replies,
"I'm talking about the chance to become a part of our collective."
Following that, Sela adds,
"The chance to be one of our soldiers and rule this dimension beside us."
Ron, uncertain, questions,
"Soldier?"
And Sela, in an excited tone, mutters,
"Yes, this is your chance to have power beyond your wildest dreams. A chance to make this world yours."
Furthermore, Ron, with even more confusion, replies,
"Power beyond my wildest dreams?"
as he contemplates what he will say next. Scion replies,
"Don't take all day. I'm not as patient as she is."
And Ron rebuttals,
"I don't know, something is shady about this. I mean, why would you come out of nowhere and offer me, of all people, this opportunity?"
Scion then insists,
"Why not? You're a great fighter, ruthless, and detest this world as much we do."
Decidedly, Ron answers,
"I've had a hard life, but I wouldn't say I hate the world. I have things I love here, my mother, my students. My final answer is no. No, leave me alone. I've had a hard life, but I wouldn't say I hate this world. I have things that I love here, my mother, my students. My final answer is no. Now leave me alone."
Scion then exclaims,
"You must have mistaken this for an interview because you're joining whether you want to or not. I've tried giving you a choice, but you've forced my hand."
While Sela interjects,
"If you choose to fight, you won't like the outcome."
Ron then exclaims,
"I'm from one of the worst neighborhoods in this city. You two do not scare me. I could beat both of you with my eyes closed."
Scion then pushes her aside and shouts,
"You're right about one thing. Your eyes are gonna be closed shut."
Ron then exclaims,
"Go to hell."
Ron then charges towards Scion with his fists clenched, and Scion proclaims,
"I am the Lord of Darkness. Not even the devil himself could stand against me."
Scion then raises his hand and fires a blast at Ron. The explosion from the blast then pushes Ron back and he falls to the ground. Freighted, Sela says,
"I hope you didn't hit him too hard."
Scion says,
"I only used a small bit of my strength. He should still be alive."
Scion then walks over to Ron and steps on his chest with his feet, and Ron, as he tries to regain consciousness, says,
"You won't get away with this."
And Scion confidently replies,
"I already am. Sela, get over here and inject him with the serum."
Sela then pulls out a needle with an orange material in it and injects it into Ron's arm. Ron then screams no, and writhes in pain as the concoctions travel through his body. Ron's eyes then close and a black-colored energy glows around them as he reopens them. Meanwhile, back in the locker room, Sensei Wong says, "I wonder what's taking Ron so long? He's never late." Roger replies, "Maybe something was up with his mother, Sensei." Sensei Wong then says he'd always make sure to take care of her before these types of things. In the meantime, on the Chaos Squadron ship, Ron is standing glaring coldly at Groper and Razor. Razor, with aggravation in his voice, asks,
What's so special about him? I thought me and Groper were enough.
Sela, feeling insulted, commands,
Morph.
And Ron then raises his hand to reveal a wrist morpher that resembles a smartwatch. Ron then opens the morpher up and presses the app on a screen with the Ranger logo on it and mutters,
Savage Brace. Digitize.
A dark cloud then manifests around his body and forms into a Ranger suit. Groper then asks,
Is he what I think he is?
And Scion answers,
Yes, Sela has created a Power Ranger.
Razor then retorts,
It's genius, but I'm going to have to see what he can do before I give him a badge of honor.
Sela then says,
You're about to witness it in a minute. Come, Savage, we have a statement to make.
Ron then nods his head and replies,
Yes, madam.
Back on the stage, Maxwell says,
I saw last round you guys looked like you were starving. I got you some snacks.
And Lion retorts, Thanks, I've been starving all day. Furthermore, Colby interjects,
Yeah, we skipped out on breakfast.
And Alexa adds,
Yeah, I don't know if I could have gone through another round feeling like this.
Meanwhile, Becky asks,
Yeah, Maxwell, did you get my favorite?
And he answers,
Of course, I got you some strawberry strings. How could I forget that, Becky?
Maxwell's phone then rings. Maxwell answers the phone and says,
What's up, Grace?
And she replies,
I hate to interrupt the event, but there's a disturbance in the local rock quarry. It seems to be a ranger.
Blinded by confusion, Maxwell retorts.
What do you mean we didn't create another ranger?
And Grace answers,
I don't know, Maxwell, but my eyes aren't deceiving me.
Maxwell then says,
Okay, I'll notify the rangers.
Maxwell says,
It looks like snack time's getting cut short today, guys.
And Colby asks,
What now?
Maxwell then says,
You guys won't believe me, but there's another ranger causing havoc at the rock quarry. He doesn't look like he's on our side at all.
Alexa then retorts,
How? You're the one who created the powers.
Maxwell answers,
I don't know, Alexa, but I need you guys to go handle the threat now. I'll have to figure that out later.
Becky then interjects,
Are you going to get Jackson?
And he replies,
No, I'm not letting him miss this, Becky. He's been talking about this for months.
Alexa afterward proclaims,
We've got it.
In the meantime, at the rock quarry, Sela sits as she watches Ron test out his new powers by destroying different rock formations. The miners in the area then run in panic as the rocks fall. The four rangers then appear and Alexa says,
What do you want with these people, Zila?
Sela responds,
Nothing. I just needed a reason to get your attention.
Lion then exclaims,
Well, you've got it.
And she rebuttals,
It doesn't seem we do. Where's the red one?
Colby then rebuttals back,
He's handling business like we're going to be doing in a minute.
Sela confidently proclaims,
I guess the four of you are good enough for now. I introduce you to your worst nightmare, the ranger that will bring an end to all of you, the Savage Ranger.
Colby following that cockily retorts,
The only one who's meeting an end is you and your whipping boy.
Annoyed, Becky proclaims,
Yeah, it's not going down like that.
And Alexa interjects,
Let's morph, guys.
All four pull out their digital prisms with different colored cartridges, insert them in the prism and press the button with a ranger icon on it and says,
Digital prism! Digitize!
The ranger then tries to attack them as they are changing, but Sela shouts,
Stop!
And Scion then commands through the helmet in his suit,
Hold up, my apprentice! Let them suit up first! I want them to be at full power, so the victory will be much greater.
And Ron replies,
Yes, my lord.
The four then go into a morphing sequence and prisms and grids form around them and crystallize into Power Rangers suits. The four then go into a roll call. Alexa says,
Digital Beast, silver.
Colby says,
Digital beasts, green.
Lion says,
Digital beast, yellow.
Becky says,
Digital beast, pink.
After that, the four do a pose based on their animals and chant,
Using the powers of the digital agent Eden. Power Rangers, digital beasts.
And lastly, Ron looks forward and his eyes glow black inside his helmet as he locks eyes with the four.